Hello, welcome to the podcast of Startup Recruitment Failures. I'm Indra, founder and CEO of Job Rely. We're building AI for outbound recruitment. And today my guest is Miguel Morgado, co-founder at Hunter Boards. Miguel, could you please introduce yourself and your company?
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here. Hunter builds and sells electric performance vehicles that focus on daily commuting but fun daily commuting. We started with a skateboard on which we invested a lot in safety, and we built a patented suspension system. And we are now going to a motorcycle, which also a high performance motorcycle with which we are showing that electric motorcycles can outperform combustion motorcycle. This one will be the fastest motorcycle going from 0 to 100, doing 2.4 seconds. And we are now trying to raise an investment round, which is really hard. But yeah, that's the current situation and our story so far.
Amazing. So is the motorcycle already running, working?
We are testing it in the track, and in the near future, we'll homologate it for the streets. But yeah, we already have the product ready, and it already crashed many times. So it's tested and ready. Yeah.
And it looks very good, by the way. Great. So thank you, Miguel, for participating. And when talking about the recruitment failures, so could you share your unsuccess story?
So from the first, let me just say that it was one of my concerns when building the team to have a founders team that was multidisciplinary. So the people I brought in as founders was me, that is in the engineering department, Duarte, that has the management of the manufacturing department, then Pedro, which was the CEO and this was in management and marketing, and João, that is in content. So we tried to create a team, a diversified team to cover all bases that we will need. And we found it to be really successful in many areas. As we launched the product, we really outperformed in sales. We sold the skates really quickly. The first batch of 50 skates we sold in 10 minutes, 30. Then we were blocked by PayPal because it was the first sales we had.
Okay.
And then we took like 4 days to unblock these things, and we sold in the next 1 hour or so. So a diversified team, it's really important. In terms of, so I think we choose well the founders. And as we started to hire more people, I think we're really lucky with everyone that we are, except one case that it's if it was now, we would look at it differently. And what was evident in his curriculum is that he was always jumping from company to company, like 3 months in each company, 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
Which is a huge red flag.
Well, why did you still hire him then?
Because we needed someone for that department. But yeah, obviously it was a problem. And if you see someone like that, or if you are someone like that, try to make an effort not to be that way, and evaluate yourself on why are you clashing so much with every company you go in. Yeah.
So what was the clash? Was it in terms of the performance or the personality?
The personality, yeah. I know it all. That was a problem.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, and when did you start noticing that something is wrong?
From like the first or 2 days, it was very evident that something that we couldn't train him. And that was an extreme case. So, but it's a good learning to not make that mistake again in the future. Yeah.
But during the interview, because even me, I remember, because I have been interviewing hundreds of people, and sometimes it happens, right, that the person starts working and maybe it's not the area they would be willing to work at, or maybe some clash with the team members, and it's not always one person's failure, right? It's most of the time it's also the company and
Yeah, of
other
course,
team
of course.
members. And especially if you're very much in hurry and you want to hire this person, so you tend to think that at our company everything is okay, so maybe this person will succeed, right?
Yeah.
But what was your case? What
No, I'm not putting any burden of any failure that we had on the company on his shoulders. So nothing like that. It was just stressful for the team to have to deal with this, and it's always stressful to fire someone.
Yeah, definitely.
We always try to make it work, but in the end, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And looking back, it should have been faster.
So for how long did you prolong? For how long you were trying?
Like 3-4 months or so, yes.
Okay, that's a lot.
But this is really an extreme case of someone that didn't listen anything we said. But looking back, it was quite evident that it will be that way from the start. In the interview, it was amazing. Nothing to point at that. But if you look at the curriculum, it's obvious. You probably have more experience in that in that department. But yeah, it was our first and only, I think, bad hiring, and it's a lesson we learned.
And so for 3-4 months, you were still trying. And when was that point that you realized that you cannot do anything, basically?
Because it was stressing the whole team.
So it affected everyone.
Yeah. The job was done. He was a great worker, but the attitude affected the whole team, and it was being problematic. That's it's. I think it's easier to to transform someone that doesn't work well, isn't doing the work properly. But if he
Exactly.
listens and wants to improve, it's quite easy. And if we have the patience to do so, it's quite easy to guide him to do the right work. And here in our company, we don't like to put blame on anyone. So if there's a problem, we don't try to find the person
Who's the guilty one?
the guilty. We don't assess the guilty. We just try to, okay, let's see why did this happen, what procedures were wrong for this to happen, and how this won't happen in the future. Because fortunately, we have that. We all think like that, and a company that doesn't do that creates a really it's pressure, too much pressure on everyone. And in this kind of area, at least in machining, where you easily, if you are distracted, you do a mistake like
Yeah.
with a machine where every mistake is at least 100 bucks of tooling or more if it's a higher mistake. And it's quite easy if you are not constantly paying attention, you easily damage something. Some tools are 1,000 euros and they are quite easy to break. So we have this philosophy in our company that we don't blame anyone. We just try to change the procedures on how to work out things and avoid this problem in the future.
I can imagine, and it's good that it didn't last for a year or something, because if it prolongs for longer, then other team members in between themselves start, having some conflicts and everything, because one person can really change the atmosphere.
I had that experience in Technic, where I was the team leader of a 40 people team doing motor student, the motorcycle. And at one point, I decided that it was better to have less people than to have more people, and some of them lacking. Because what happened at a certain point is it was like contagious, and the people not working will start to pass on this kind of way of working to the people that were being productive.
Exactly.
So it's like that. Yeah, you start to have like a sickness in the company or in the project. Everybody has to be aligned, and hopefully trying to put out the same workloads as everyone else.
If you're looking for a smart choice to build your team, do it efficiently with JobRely, our AI for recruitment. We offer 2 weeks free trial, during which our AI will source 50 potential candidates, reach them out, pre-screen, and schedule interviews. Visit jobrely.com and get started. Did you ask for the references from the previous employers before hiring?
Yeah, not from the previous employers, but from one of his teachers, because he was new in that area, and it came well recommended.
Well recommended. Okay.
By the teacher.
This is, this happens. But I actually remember my situation when I even hired someone, even when I got a very bad feedback, like very bad negative reference. But I was still hoping that everything will be good because our company is different and our atmosphere is amazing, so everything will work out. But of course it didn't. So it's just like, just hope is it's still here, so it's very difficult to manage, everything. But yeah, it is as it is. Sometimes you cannot change.
As this platform of hiring people, I'm expressing myself badly, but it must. There are cases for sure or not. I'm wondering if there are cases of someone not fitting at all in a good company and fitting really well in another company, or not?
It is. It really happens. Sometimes it happens that it's like not the right environment, and the person cannot prove themselves, don't have motivation, and it really happens that they find a company where they fit very well and they start performing good. So it really depends on many factors. Of course, there are like toxic people who I think should work on their personal things before going to work with other people. But most of the time, I think it's just not the right moment, not the right company, and etc. So it's not always those people.
No, I'm wondering this because that's always our way of thinking is if it's not working, let's try to adapt and then let's see how this can work.
Yeah.
Because we believe in this that probably the mistake is in our end, and let's see if we can change a bit to accommodate different people.
Yeah, but you try a bit, you see that it's not working, and it's better let it go instead of keep on trying. So
then to change everything for one person.
It's too complicated. And you also have a very interesting learning in terms of the investment attraction in US.
Yeah, that's one of our biggest mistakes was that we're at the point where we needed to scale the production and the marketing side of Underworld, and we were with really good traction in sales. So it was really at a good moment to start seeking investment to basically put money in marketing, which we never did until now, and put more money in production to keep the costs a bit down and be more aggressive in price. So because like 80 or 90% of our customers are in America, we decide to go fundraising in America. We didn't have any, other than the customers, we didn't have any kind of connection to America. On top of this, only one of us, which was Pedro, went to America. So he assumed on his shoulders all the burden of raising an investment, which is a really difficult task. But the main problem, I think, looking back, is that we should have had some kind of connections prior to going to America. What Pedro felt there was that he was completely lost, and one thing that we learned from past past rounds from investment is that everything works if you have a good network of investors and people that
could introduce you.
Can introduce you to investors, because cold calls normally don't work. For us, they are working right now because we send a pitch video of the motorcycle working. And it works not for VCs but for the industrial investors. But other than that, cold calls for VCs and traditional business angels, it's quite easy, quite hard to get there.
So he was trying cold calling basically.
Yeah, in America.
Being in US
Yeah.
already. For how long did
He was there 6 months.
Oh wow.
Which is really costly.
And it's a long period of time.
In LA, yeah. LA, it's not good either right now. It's a bit depressing, all the social problems.
Yeah.
So that with the pressure he had on his back, it was really problematic. He burned out, which is
understandable.
So that was a bad experience we had. And in the future, if we decide to go to another market, maybe even reaching for investor or trying to mount a sales team there, we know that we have to do that with prior relations built in Portugal or at least in Europe.
So someone to introduce you and to have a network, just at least a start of the networking there. Okay. That's really a huge question, right? Because it seems like, in US there are so many VC funds and it should be so easy and there are so many networking events. So why couldn't it be just as easy as it is? You go and you find money there. But apparently cold calling is not the thing.
Yeah, you probably passed for the same thing now coming to Portugal. How did you start to get in on the ecosystem and all that? Was it easy? How long did it take for you to start to build connections, basically?
So for us, it really happened very fast, but because we started using personal approach. So meeting people in person and then, being introduced for other people, exactly what you're saying, what was missing for your co-founder in US. Because I also spent a year in US selling Job Rely. It went well, but it could have happened better because we also tried this approach like outbound sales and we sent like hundreds and emails and LinkedIn messages and everything. And like some of the companies, like a small percentage replied that yes, they're interesting because we really are efficient in terms of time and money for recruitment because their recruitment is very expensive. But it wasn't easy and it was very frustrating because you put so much of the effort and you don't get any result, any feedback, right? Because everyone is busy and like you're no one if you don't come with a reference or something, right? So here in Portugal, we started doing everything in person. So, if someone knows someone, introduce us, and it's totally different story then.
Okay.
Yeah, so I totally understand your co-founder,
How long did
Pedro.
for you to be comfortable? I don't know if you are already comfortable in Portugal or not, but how long did it take for you to be comfortable and feel that you already have a network in here?
So we haven't started to do any actions for the first year, only the second year, because I think it's like we had time, we were not focusing on this market, just to understand the mentality of people, because it's same Europe, same people, but actually not, right? So you need to know the rules and start going to the events and just little by little. So we only started to do something in terms of sales and money attraction after a year, not the first time when we just came, because it's too much of everything. It's a new country, you need to settle in, you need to find friends, and then work. I think it's just like you can easily burn out. So we didn't do that.
I'll stop doing questions now because you are the interviewer.
It's okay. Thank you. And to conclude, Miguel, what would be your key advice for other like freshly born startup founder who would come to you and ask like, Pedro, what should I do? I need to hire a team now. What would you advise them not to do or what to do?
We were really lucky with hiring because we always try to bring people in that were really involved in in projects while they had free time, basically. One thing I really like to hire is people that from the engineering background who are involved in Formosund, Motosund, because Brun, for example, was hired like this and is exceptional. We just gave him a share of the company because it really didn't disappoint, but we hired another people like that. And what it shows is that those kinds of curriculum shows that people are really interesting and love these kind of projects, and it's not just a work.
Yeah, it should be a passion if you're working at startup.
So we always try to look for people that showed in the past that they have passion for this, and they did a lot of extracurricular activities. Not a lot, but important extracurricular activities in, or at least in this area, because it's motorsports. It's easy to find people that are passionate. It's for us. It's really easy to hire because there are a lot of people trying to go into motorsports, and there are not a lot of companies in motorsports.
Okay, that's a great advantage. Happy for you. Great. Thank you, Miguel, so much for your time and sharing your stories. And thank you to all the listeners. If you like this, please leave your review on Spotify. For more podcasts, please visit jobrelive.com, sign up for our newsletter, and we'll keep you posted about latest startup news.